Following the Apostles' Vision explores the New Testament letters to discover key principles used by the Apostles in multiplying disciples and planting churches to cultivate God's kingdom movement. Even for Paul, the message was simple. Jesus died but is alive. He has ascended but is present by His Spirit, and He is coming again. And the vision was clear that there be no place left where this good news had not been shared. Our cities are going up, our suburbs are expanding, our mission challenge is huge. But the simple, reproducible methods that Jesus lived and taught relate to all cultures and all circumstances. His vision and methods shaped the mission of the early church and are practical and effective today. In this first episode, we explore the big movement idea of following relational streams. Jesus said, "Go and make disciples of all ethne." We call this the Great Commission ethne principle. Go and make disciples in every nation, tribe, language, and people, or in all relational streams.
This is the most exciting thing we've ever done in ministry. It just is a snowball. It's hard to keep up with it.
I was a pastor at local churches, and I always loved working at local churches. A few years ago, some refugees came walking to the church. We invited them home, and we started to build a relationship with them. This relationship got bigger and bigger, and we started to meet some other people.
We're not just inviting them into our world, we're part of their world.
Because of the war, it was very, very hard to stay in my country. Two Fadi's friends, they killed by ISIS because they are Christian. We were very worried about our children. That's why it's better to go outside to keep my children safe.
2011, the war started. Suddenly, we tried to stay in Syria. We said that the future, maybe 1 year and everything will finish, but the problem, it's grow up. We moved to Damascus, and in Damascus, a bomb came to our neighbor house.
It was a hard time for us. We don't want to leave our country. But when I look at everything, I can't imagine any future for my children.
I work 2 days a week at ADRA, and what is wonderful is I'm able to connect with a lot of refugees, and then they would talk with me, and usually they would already know about our group. Oh, I know about yous. Oftentimes when I'm there at ADRA, I tell Margaret, instead of having a smoko, I go walking around the block, and then I'll bump into people that I know, and I'll talk with them there. I've got to be there mixing on the street to meet with people.
It's been a real epiphany for me as far as helping others, the joy that you get back.
We are originally from Syria. When we came to Australia, late 2017, my cousin Michael has been in Australia almost 6 months before us. And he said for us, we will introduce you for one person, his name Andre, and he's very supportive person. So he brought Andre to us and visited us in our unit and introduced Andre to my family, and we become all as a one family.
At the beginning, when we arrived to Brisbane, we stayed at our friend's home. They were Maram and Wissam. They were like a second family for us here.
We came to Australia as a permanent resident. We were at birthday party for our friend's son, and we met there Andre and Margaret. Having a friend in Australia was very good point for us because we have like a new support, new families here. Many of our friends have become part of our new family.
For 3 years, we stayed without any Australian friend until we met Andre and Margaret.
We met Andre and Margaret through Maram and Wissam, and now we feel like a new family.
And it's just growing. Their friends, and then they introduced their friends. It must have been the way the early church multiplied.
In following these relational streams, Andre and Margaret, with Paul and Linda, are following the missional movement principles that Jesus lived by. Their engagement is incarnational, fully entering the lives of others; apostolic, being sent by God; and messianic, living as God's anointed presence in their expanding new family of faith. People from traditional and highly liturgical forms of religion are finding fresh personal faith in Jesus through connecting and sharing faith in relational streams.
When you're part of people's lives, you have a lot of fun, but that also brings with it, sad times, tough times.
Last January, I was pregnant and I lost my daughter. It was after 30 weeks pregnancy. It was very hard. We were in a bad situation. But the positive things that was all these people, they surround us and they help us.
A huge thank for this family, Andre, Paul, Marguerite, Linda.
I believe that God uses our wounds, and through our own hurt, we can minister to others. Jesus was known as the man of sorrows and acquainted with our grief. And I think we need to be more those kind of people, and we are moved by things that would move Jesus. Whatever we do, we're trying to help people to be integrated into our spiritual life. They love being part of God's people.
I was riding my bike one day and I came across this place here. I usually don't come up this street, and I said, wow, this house is for sale. No one was around, so I snuck in the backyard and had a look. I said, man, wouldn't this be a great place for all our parties that we have for these people? And it's reasonably central because we have people on the north side of the river, on the south side of the river. The dream was to have, so we can have groups regularly. This new family, they need friends, but they need more than that. They also need something that's going to grow their soul. And we go to their funerals, we go to their children's baptisms, at their churches. When they hurt, we hurt. When they're happy, we get a kick.
They want us to share these spiritual events, these important events in their lives. It really is a very close relationship.
When I was in Syria, she asked me, why you don't go to church, why you don't pray? I don't believe it. But when I came to Australia, I feel my heart open with the church, open with Jesus.
We've actually helped them see that there's a loving God who's prepared to walk the road with them.
We are there to help them grow closer to Jesus Christ, but they just love being part of our family.
هاي العائلة الجديدة هن معطاء للعالم كله، هن محبين للعالم كله. وهن مثل تلاميذ المسيح.
أندري وبول وليندا هن قائدين عم بمشوا مثل تلاميذ المسيح، عمال يفرجونا الطريق لبين لنوصل.
I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I know that I am protected by them always. I am happy to let my children grow up with this faith.
My son Jad went to the camp last year, and when he came back, he said, "Dad, this is the best week for me in my life." Yeah, Jesus said, "Knock the door and I will open." If we follow Jesus' way, it's very good.
So God uses people in our lives to give us strength, and we're blessed abundantly.